I'm going to try and do this every single fucking day, just like I committed to my newsletter, The Spizz. So I think that's the only way I can just be like, go and be consistent for me is just like commit to every fucking day. And I think that makes sense, you know? So welcome to Twisty and the Spizz. I'm Twisty. Hopefully you're spizzed the fuck up. I'm spizzed up, man. I ordered a couple of these in the mail. Shout out to Beau Pierce. If you're part of the Chiropractic Business Club group on Facebook, he runs that. He's former founder of Circle of Docs. I've known Beau for fucking years, dude. This goes back to my doctor-based days. And I think Beau is one of the first 3 people to reach out to me and say, hey, what the hell's going on? And what are you guys doing over at Doctor Base? And man, the circle of life just happens. And, you know, Beau's got his own stuff cooking. He's got this great book. Hey, on that note, I have a couple extra copies. I love to give one away to a listener of Twisty and the Spizz. All you got to do is email me twisty@thespizz.com and I will send you or order you a copy of this book. You know, I love to give away stuff. Love to give away stuff because I'm a giver, not a taker. It's been Mercury and fucking retrograde for me. I'm going to be fucking blunt about that. I usually know when Mercury in retrograde is coming because I usually know when Mercury in retrograde is coming because I don't know. If you don't believe in it, fucking understand it, man. But just like professional wrestling and chiropractic, it's still real to me, man. And I'll tell you what, I haven't even told my wife this because I don't even know if she listens to my show. I don't want her to hear this. So motherfuckers, don't be passing this shit around to my wife. I know you motherfuckers out there be passing shit around. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. But here's how I knew it was Mercury in retrograde. Last week, look, if you follow me, you know I've quit some things. It's been a journey, and I'll tell you, by I hit Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturdays, it's a learning curve for me to do what I want with my time, and not blow up. So last Saturday, if you see my studio, I got all these cool little phones and shit. I love to go to antique stores now, and I love just buying more phones, right? I'm just addicted. This is beautiful. This is just fucking, oh God, dick gets hard on this phone, man. I don't know what it is about phones, man, but it's like, wow, it's beautiful. Anyways, so I drove like an hour away to like this antique store. I'm having a moment, bought my phones. I'm going to go get some food. I just needed some me time. And I really don't like to drive. I'm not a good driver because of my squirrel. And I'm getting off an on-ramp somewhere to go to a restaurant I had been Googling while I was driving. And I kind of bumped on the off-ramp the car in front of me and immediately had the shit reaction, like, oh shit, fuck. But kind of was like a family of Mexicans that came out and, one that couldn't speak English, one that kind of could. And they're like, kind of like, I'm like looking for signs of like, God, what the fuck did just happen here? Because it wasn't a hard bump. It was a very, very light bump, but I just kind of directed and said, hey, you want to go pull over there? And then we got out of the car and I said, how much you want? And they go, 200. And I go, 200? And then the other person's going, 250. And I'm like, look, are you guys even fucking legal? Do you go, oh, yeah, yes. I go, how about 300? I'll sell it to you. Give me your number. Boom. Moved on with my day. But I'm like, oh, shit, something's going on. Then me and my wife go to a comedy show this following week. And just off that day, just off. I was doing corporate taxes. I was doing stuff. And that was one of the hardest things to not be on fucking Adderall for was doing your taxes. So if you guys know me, I love to do my taxes up to a point, then give it to a tax lawyer to review and tell me I'm going to be fine and cool and not go to jail. So I did that. It was very painful to not be on stimulants and not have that fucking reward of dopamine. But I did it. I got through. We were supposed to go to Mark Norman comedy show. We went downtown, had an awesome dinner at Ocean Prime. Walked over to Helium Comedy Club. I see a fucking line, and it's 9:30. Normally, we do a comedy show on Fridays at 7. Okay, so there's a 7 show and the 9:30 show, Fridays and Saturdays at Helium. We are normally Friday at 7 people. I don't know what you guys are out there, but I'm not a Saturday 9:30 person anymore. Just not happening anymore. It's not me. I saw this fucking huge line. Now, we had reserved seats, but you still have to go in line, and then I look and says, oh, if you're not 30 minutes on time for your tickets, even if they're reserved, can be set away. And I'm like, fuck, dude. But I start doing math. I'm like, by the time we get in It's going to be 10:30. They're going to start the show. He's probably got an opener, maybe 2 openers. Man, this guy's big. He's blowing up. Probably not until 11. Gets off at 12, 12:30. Oh, the hours are changing. By the time we get home, it's going to be 2 o'clock on the clock. And I really want to go to church on Sunday and, be committed to that. And I'm like, you want to get out of here? Let's get out of here. As we're walking by, Kat walks by her brow girl. And Megan's like the brow girl of Indianapolis. Like everybody and anybody goes to her, and she's like, "You guys leaving?" We're like, "Yeah, we're leaving." I bring that up because I think about, it's so funny that one of my former business partners, she went to Megan, the brow girl, and I remember Kat coming home one day and Megan telling her, "I just don't like that girl. Just don't like her." So look, it's Mercury in retrograde. What happens during Mercury in retrograde is accidents happen during travel. And biggest thing is miscommunications. And I wrote a post the other day, if I get out of this one without a divorce, with my animals still liking me, that will be fucking fantastic. But unfortunately, I'm going to get hit by some fucking grades, I guess, retrogrades in Mercury. And, what happened? Let me talk about this last night. Yesterday, I dropped a podcast. I'm going to try to do one a day. Some of the stuff might be from what I'm doing out there with partners, collaborators, friends. We did a show yesterday with Stephanie Libs. And look, this is good content strategy for you guys. If you're like, hey, how do I fucking just talk? Do I need to be on speed? Do I need to have ADHD? I think an easy thing is just, especially if you're going to talk to someone else, is I like to ask them what their chip on their shoulder is. Or like, basically, before I got on this interview live with Stephanie, I said, hey, we're promoting your event, your workshop, which I think is amazing. You can go to stephanielibs.com and she has her one-day adjusting seminar. And, she's a fighter. She stands for stuff. She's a California chick. She's cool. She's funny. And I asked her, I said, what's one thing that's pissing you off in the pediatric chiropractic world? We'll jam on that today. And her answer was that a lot of pediatric chiropractors just like to scan, and that's it. Scan, sell their care plan, and she thinks there needs to be more. I was like, perfect. Now, when I think of scanning, I think of one name. This is great. I think of David Fletcher. Now, if you've ever listened to me, read my newsletters, David Fletcher was one of the earliest first sponsors, partners with Cairo Sushi. He was ahead of the curve and saw what we're doing. He was very, very supportive of us financially with being a sponsor, and was just lovely to me. And David, I've never said anything. I've literally had posts about him being my top 3 favorite chiropractic speakers. I think he's one of the most eloquently intelligent men out there. He's in my father's age group, I think. I don't know. I've always been just in love with this man. I think he's just the shit. He's David fucking Fletcher. And literally when he spoke at Mile High one day, he said something and the fucking lightning went out and boom, or the lights went out when he said something, and it was cool. And David has the Insight machine, which was, he took over from Chris Kent, who's walking around in a comatose down there in Sherman, and Patrick Gentempo, who's doing some probably Epstein Island shit with the Ultimate Achievers Club. I'm not over there. I don't join that crew. I'm not in that crew. They never invited me. Maybe a note on that later. But so we do this podcast, and as you should with any type of media, you want to get people's attention. Hey, is scanning for lame pediatric chiropractors? I just had the questions. Stephanie filled in the gaps. And then David reaches out to me, and this was so sad because he's like, hey, when I read your derisive comments, and then I have to go look up what derisive means because David's a fucking eloquent, smart motherfucker, about me and scanning, which I didn't say anything about him and scanning, nor did Stephanie. I had to ask myself, what have I ever done to you to warrant this kind of negative dialogue by you? Well, number one, you don't fucking pay me anymore. Joking, but semi-true. Be a partner. But that was not what was said or what was spoken of. Stephanie had her opinions on something. Now, here's the fucking interesting thing. I said in the podcast, the first person that came to the top of my head, I go, is David Fletcher going to kill it? Or David Fletcher going to murder us? Because I know where this could be going. And the first person I thought of was David Fletcher. Top of mind awareness. Motherfucker's done a great job. He's at every and any event that he can be at. And if he's allowed to speak, which he should because he's one of the best fucking speakers out there, even better. I spent my entire career championing the validity and responsibility of using objective findings to further the message and the impact of chiropractic. He absolutely has. 1000% agree with that. I have probably been one of the biggest advocates for the Insight machine and telling you guys out there that you need to have annual exams. I have told David this behind the scenes that Insight CLA should be running ads to consumers to train them that they should be going to see chiropractors that use the Insight machine. I also know there's a ton of Insight machine users out there that don't know what the fuck they're doing with the device. But that's real talk. As David knows me, David I've told this story about before. David, when we were at Cal Jam, I remember going up to him, and we're at the bar, and Nancy, his beautiful wife, and they're just fantastic. I saw them at Parker last year. Anytime I see them anywhere, man, they just make the world better. They're just fucking good people. So this almost broke my heart in some ways, but also my heart has become very cold in some other ways. David has been a champion of chiropractic, and he's one of the most intellectual people on chiropractic. But I would never, by publicly calling the question the integrity of chiropractors who choose to use my products, I wasn't saying his product. Here's the interesting thing. I could have said David fucking Markarian in my own vision. I could have said Roger fucking whatever from Titronics, but they're not top of mind. So I appreciate one fact that David's like, hey, I'm the Scan King. Fucking fist bump. Yes, you are. But there's others out there. Steph and I sit on the MAHA group, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to share that's not relevant. I'll end this with a question. Why would you support negativity towards me? I wasn't supporting negativity towards you. In fact, if you know anything about me, this sets up a great conversation for why Insight. No, Stephanie's wrong. Maybe Stephanie's wrong. Maybe she's right. Maybe there's cognitive dissonance in this conversation, which is what I have. I'm fucked up. You're not going to agree with everything. Oh, that's it. I walked up to David at the bar, and I'm like, everyone's telling me how fucking fat I am. And David laughed and goes, man, you're the sushi guy, right? You're raw. You tell everyone like it is. You got to take it back. Same here, brother. I love you. I think the Insight machine is one of the most phenomenal pieces of equipment. I don't think it's being used as what it could be being used for. If anyone could help sell more Insight machines, it'd be fucking me. Why would you support negativity towards me? I wouldn't, dude. I'd actually think that like it was a tip of the cap to you that I said would David Fletcher murder us because we're talking about this. I think I put you on a pedestal like I've done before in any of my other content, any of my other writings. So I wrote him back, let him know what I said is exactly what I'm saying here. And I told him to look forward to my podcast today. So hopefully, and here's what he told me that was interesting, because I know there's so many people. Look, if you read I have over 17,000 chiropractors on my newsletter, over 3,000 daily readers on my newsletter. I look at everyone who reads, and it's so funny. The other thing that I look at is everyone who else opens up my emails. And specifically, if you know me, I call this making love to my list. I know when someone's going to reach out and become a customer of mine, a client of mine, a peep. I know because I've seen them open my emails multiple times. The only other people that don't become clients of mine that open them multiple times are the people that don't like me, that hate me, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. David says, it was one thing he said that made me giggle a little bit, because he goes, certainly not the response I expected, or many of the other people have reached out to me saying, what the fuck? Well, I'm so glad that many other people are sending my content around there. I know you are. Look, I love the Insight machine. I wish they were a partner with the Spizz. They should be a partner with the Spizz, but that doesn't mean I'm only going to tell the truth about my partners. And I think the podcast episode that we did yesterday was an insightful and electric one about what Dr. Stephanie thinks about what's going on in the pediatric chiropractic world. So with that, I love you, motherfucker. I love the Insight machine. Love to have you on and we can debate this and have the questions about it. Didn't mean any negativity towards you, only love, but also, if it hurts you that bad, I'll rub your little fucking clit, stick my fingers up your vagina, I'll make it come again, and we can move on from this. I want to talk about some other stuff. It's Mercury in retrograde. So, one of the things people are noticing on my socials, because I'm not afraid to say shit and have an opinion and question shit, is, if you know me, I rolled really pro-Trump because way better than fucking Joe Biden and Kamala, right? If you know anything about me, I'm a libertarian. Coached with Roger Stone, the ultimate libertarian, want to learn how to be a strategist like Roger Stone. And I am, though, a ultra America first. I'm not an isolationist. I'm just a libertarian who's like, dude, stay out of my fucking bedroom, stay out of my fucking tax. Like, leave me the fuck alone and let us fucking just have fun and live this life, And, I'm not afraid to question like what's going on in Iran. And I got like a lot of like MAGA chiropractors now going, you're a traitor, you're a traitor. Dude, no one championed and promoted Trump enough because I thought what he said, I believed him. And I really should have known because honestly, let's go back in time to COVID. Now, my argument for defending Trump back then was having some insight coaching with Roger Stone was that he was going through a little shit with his wife. And, you know, we always used to talk about this in BDC. Business problems are personal problems in disguise. And I was like, man, you're throwing this calculated, created thing called COVID to try to, my interpretation is just trying to stop the Trump presidency, which was, I thought, on a roll up to that point. And I just don't think he handled it well, but I gave him an excuse because it was, who knew? Who knew? But in hindsight, I look at how he handled it and, you know, honestly, he's got a big responsibility towards what happened. And, you know, the government money that was given out and sent out to people, and this was what was going on at the time, was I remember us in BDC, you know, we were doing lives every day like they were the presidential things that he was doing. There's one thing plus 2 equals 3. Why this kind of pisses me off later down the road is because there's a lot of you, or a little bit of you out there that listen, that are part of this group that invested their money with, you know, a con artist that's still being allowed to speak at fucking Sherman College. Shame on Sherman College. Shame on fucking President Jack Borla. But we know where that school's going to fucking shit. Because you let con men still fucking try to con fucking chiropractic students. And, you know, part of what happened was the EDIL and PPL money. And there's people out there that invested that money with that person, and they're too afraid. He knows it. He's telling people behind the scenes, bet they won't come after me. Well, you know, maybe he'll have a heart attack soon and die because that'd be the best thing that could ever fucking happen to that dude. But maybe there'll be a federal thing that comes up. I don't fucking know. This is where you guys send, share, make the clips. Did you hear what he fucking said? What else is really bothering me besides like the fact that we said we weren't going to do the same old shit that has been done for years in the Middle East? And, you know, even my own father said to me on the phone, well, this just has to be done. It has to be done. And I'm like, you know, they could come, you know, they're just got to be, you know, it has to be done. And I'm like, I thought it was done in the summer. I thought we did the traditional Trump thing, which is like we go in, we eradicate, and we get the fuck out. And I remember sometime in the summer, like, dude, accomplished. They took out their fucking nuke buildings and all this shit. Well, I guess not. And so listen, you know, I just want us to just take a look at what this last, you know, this run with Trump is like. You know, the tariff thing. I got excited because I thought they were going to get rid of like income tax because fucking theft. You know, I pay property tax, I pay county tax, I pay state tax, I pay taxes on goods sold, and now I'm getting tariff tax. So when we buy shit from overseas, we're now paying a tariff tax. Wait, I thought that was the whole point of the tariffs, that we aren't paying that shit. Well, you can look on my fucking counter. We got 3 or 4 different forms that we owe money for things that we've ordered on. The escalation with Iran, the gas prices climbing again, the escalation with Iran, still supporting fucking Ukraine. You know, dude, if we're going to support anyone with a cocaine habit, support me, man. Instead of that fucking stupid president. The TikTok shit, the flip-flop on the TikTok shit, the walk back on the IVF shit, the immigration stuff, the hardline on like just, I thought we're just going to do standard shit. No, man, like this got messy. Let's see. You know, I think on the chiropractic side, I'd still be pissed about what's happening with like the bullshit of the MAHA movement. Like it sounds good. But what I see the actionable thing still happening is with the big pharmaceutical companies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, Mercury in retrograde. Big week at Chiropractic Results. We launched our Results Assured lead ads. We've had over 30 plus people since Sunday sign up for in multiple clinics across the country with our hype accounts. One of the fastest companies I've ever grown to, the fastest numbers I've ever done, because this is the culmination of everything I've ever done. Coming back to those days years ago with Dr. Base. Shout out to Beau Pierce again for his book. If you want a copy of the Fly the Damn Plane book by Dr. Beau Pierce, you can get it. Listen, Chiropractic Results is, you know, we've tackled, first challenge was how do we make sure that we can consistently get people ranking in AI recommendations and referrals and citation sources mentions. Check. What came of that was, wow, we're doing really fucking good with condition-based research. Awesome. Check. Throw in some hype account stuff and promo them. How can we drive more traffic, top of mind awareness, social proof advertising? Check. And you know, I keep on evolving this and making this better. I don't want to turn it into a total twisty fire hose, but I will say that what I was excited about was launching and testing early last month with on-site pages of the profiles of Results Assurance, which is like, think of it like Priceline Guarantee. We're the ones that are betting on you. I'm betting on you and betting on chiropractic. And so I was like, let's test it out and lead stuff. And we're getting some traction. So, you know, if you want to roll with some of the smartest people in the room, it's not just me. Dude, I've invested $500,000 into my AI compliance officer. I've invested a shitload of money into the technological team behind the scenes. We're rocking and rolling. Love to have you on Chiropractic Results. Get your free profile. There's a free profile. There's the upgraded standard utility, which I'll announce right now. Shout out to Karen Hanna and the Advancing Animal Chiropractic, their nonprofit that's helping to advance animal chiropractic. If you're a member of Advancing Animal Chiropractic, we worked out an arrangement that you can get a $119 utility membership. So our second level from our first level up from freemium, which allows you to get unlimited results, that we are comping that to Advancing Animal Chiropractic members, 100% free because you're a member. And the next thing is that we're going to do is if you do upgrade your account, you upgrade to premium or hype, we're going to kick back 10%. We're going to kick back 10% to Advancing Animal for anyone who upgrades that came in through that was on that original membership. So there's our tithing. We're also working, we'll be having Dr. Vivek on here, head of NUCA. We're going to be talking about his school, some really cool stuff coming up. I'm going to try to do this every day. I'm going to try to at least bring the podcast out every day. Hey man, I got to 25 fucking minutes talking by myself. It's badass. Love the David Fletcher Insight Machine. We're kicking ass with Chiropractic Results. Mercury is still in retrograde, boys and girls. We got a couple more days left. We got about a week and a half. You know, stay safe traveling. Be easy with your words with your partners. Look ahead of you when you're driving. All that good stuff. Love to you all. Twisty and the Spizz out.